Okay, guys, welcome to the show here. I'd much rather be watching George the Package Monkey videos right now. By the way, that monkey just wants food. Quit giving him those Amazon packages of toys and stuff. He just wants food. I'd much rather be watching him do his thing, but we got a lot to cover today, guys. So let's get right into it. So this first clip is from a channel that I didn't even know existed. And if you have elderly parents who maybe live in the South, who are saying crazy things, more so now usually than they normally do, they could be watching this channel, which is called the Victory Channel. The Victory Channel. And the Victory Channel it appears to be all hosted by like evangelical pastors and stuff. And it's amazing, and I highly suggest you go subscribe. So let's check this out. And this clip is with Sarah Palin, who, she's part of the OG of MAGA insanity. She's kind of like the origin story. She's part of the origin story of this whole thing. So let's check out what she's got to say.
You tweeted yesterday to the mainstream media, what I call the corporate media, and I'd like to put those tweets up if we could, please, of what you had to say about these protesters. And you called out the media and said, quit painting I'm paraphrasing, with a wide brush here, all conservatives, Tea Partiers, and Republicans, who these people really are. And I want to thank you for doing that, giving your thoughts on what we have shown so far and the thoughts about the drawdown of the police.
So he didn't actually read her tweet. And by the way, Sarah, we got to give it up. We got to give it up.
Oh!
We look at her and we say, oh, because, well, the guys, we have eyes. We're human, okay? Still cute. Let's just say it, okay? But here's her tweet that he didn't read. Media, quit labeling DC protesters, quote, conservatives, Republicans, Tea Partiers. Tea Partiers? Oh, no, they're not Tea Partiers. They're just like the obvious evolution of what you guys kind of helped create, which is the Tea Party. Trump supporters, etc. Look into who these people are, who choose an apparent leaderless insane swarm to create a perception of condoned violence. Knock it off. So this is their new strategy. Like, we don't even know those people. What?
Partiers and Republicans, who these people really are. And I want to thank you for doing that, giving your thoughts on what we have shown so far and the thoughts about the drawdown of the police.
Well, first, Greg, I really appreciate this opportunity, and I want to thank you, and Victory, I want to thank you guys for getting the truth out there. I've been scrambling all morning, Greg, trying to correct people who are trying to correct me about who these quote-unquote Trump supporters actually are, and I've been
these quote-unquote, I never even heard of this. What? Violent mobs misled by horrible social media garbage information? What? I have no idea.
Using your footage from yesterday, a show with Mario and with Lance Wallnow and others whom you guys talked about, and showing footage, showing proof of who these people are. They're agitators. They're professional rioters. They're not Trump supporters. So I tweeted that. I put that out on Instagram, and immediately I had, Greg, even my Christian prayer warrior friends trying to correct me, saying, oh, bless your heart, Sarah, don't be naive about this. They have their Trump apparel on. They are Trump. Like, oh my goodness, it doesn't take some kind of supernatural prophetic gift.
Exactly. There's a false flag, and there's a false flag operation here. That's Sarah, right? There's a false flag. We got a false flag operation here, guys. We got these fake protesters going in there. So we got to hand it to these people on this evangelical news network, the Victory Channel. They do get some really good investigative journalism. So here, I'll show you. Check this out.
Well, let me show you another one. We had Chris Ann Hall on this morning, and she posted this from yesterday. It's an Instagram post from NPR. Now, what I want you to notice on this post, Trump supporters storm U.S. Capitol, clash with police. January 6th, 2021. But look at the timestamp on the Instagram from NPR. It says 9, what time is that? 9 something in the morning, 9:33 Eastern time. So are they prophetic here, Governor? Because nothing had happened. The president hasn't even spoken at 9:33 Eastern time.
Oh my God. What is it? NPR, known Marxist organization NPR, published a story that said there was a riot at 9:30 before. Check out my corkboard with all the strings on it. 9:30. This is from the AP. You'll never guess what happened here. The story provided a running account of developments around protests at the Capitol as Congress met to certify electoral votes in the presidential elections. The story was initially published at 9:33 a.m., and the headline was changed later in the day as the protest turned violent. So, for example, you put a post up at 9:30 a.m., let's say, and then something happens and you go back into that post. Like if you do WordPress or something, you go back into that post and you change it. It might still say, oh, that post was originally done at 9:30.
The president hasn't even spoken at 9:33 Eastern time.
Isn't that something? And only that bit of evidence will be found with you, Greg, on your channel.
Yeah, I would guess that that's true. I would guess that that's true. Where, you know, thank you, thank you, Greg, for publishing that. Thank you so much, Greg, for just basically backing up the conspiracy theory garbage truck and just dumping everything in there. Thank you so much, Greg. You're doing such a great job. Greg's like, you're still cute, aren't you? She's like, man. To be honest, like, what would even be the claim there? I mean, the only way to really explain what they just said. So the NPR posted that there was riots before there was riots. So NPR was instigating the riots. They were in on some kind of a psyop to create riots to hurt Trump's feelings. Like, what can we keep going with that? Can we follow through? Can we finish? Can we close the loop of this conspiracy theory? America's kooky aunt.
And only that bit of evidence will be found with you, Greg, on your channel. You're not going to find that elsewhere. Something else you guys pointed out last night was these agitators, these criminals, they arrived first to position themselves in the rally before sincere Trump supporters, common sense constitutional conservatives, even marched down there to the rally. They were there, they were positioned so they could storm the Capitol. It's
So while I was editing this, listening back to her talking, she is like the OG sort of crazy conspiracy mom, Q mom, Marjorie Taylor Greene, crazy AR-15 mom. She is the OG of this stuff. She should have gone to the Capitol and been like, this is mine. This is me. You think you started this? This is me, honey. You guys think I'm locked in the Capitol with you? Yeah, you're locked in the Capitol with me, or whatever that quote was from Watchmen.
It's kind of infuriating. I'm trying to be patient with it, that we even have to now spend a lot of time with this kind of distraction, this issue being, well, let's prove that they're not Trump supporters, blah, blah.
That's beautiful. It's kind of annoying that we even have to answer to this, and definitely it's annoying that, you know, if they look at some of our posts in the past, many of us, they could pretty easily make a case that we instigated this stuff, and we were just throwing out ideas. My
brain is still in recovery.
A distraction, this issue being, well, let's prove that they're not Trump supporters, blah, blah, when there's a much bigger picture going on, isn't there?
So they're not Trump supporters, first of all. Second of all, let's just move on from that because there's a much bigger issue.
Again, I appreciate so much your proof, your evidence. It helps me get the word out there and others regarding the truth, what's going on. But there's a bigger picture, and I know you guys are addressing it, and that is what is going on with this attempt to steal an election, to ultimately overthrow a legitimate government. It's pretty big picture what we're dealing with here.
It is, and we've got some new things that we're seeing.
So these people who ran in to stop the counting of the Electoral College votes, those were not Trump supporters, but they should be. But they weren't. But they should be because it was stolen, but it wasn't. but it wasn't. We gotta love America's prescription pill / white wine addict aunt Sarah Palin is still around and kicking. We gotta love her, folks. Every time I listen to her, I think this.
My brain is still in recovery mode.
So all these guys on this, the Victory Channel. I mean, there's going to be endless media outlets like this. This is like just like at a county fair or something. People stand outside of the gates or like next to the rides selling useless crap. That's what this is. They're just like, oh, there's a bunch of rubes out here. Let's just set up all our crap tables and see what we can sell. Victory Channel.
We've got some new things that we're seeing on this, and what has shocked me is how corporate media, and I now call it socialist media, social media, has colluded together on this. Senator Schumer is now calling for the 25th Amendment. Apparently, Chuck Schumer has called for the president to be removed right now before.
These guys all seem like we're just kindly pastors out here. We're just doing our shows, or we're just like we just like to help people. We're doing a bake sale. But they're like, if you watch this Victory Channel, they are basically like Steven Crowder with like an older, quieter, slightly more subdued vibe. But they're saying all the same crap. If you look at just go through the thumbnails of this channel, it's all like stolen election. Marxist Dems trying to kill President Trump. Antifa and BLM trying to kill all white people. Like, it's all that. It's my new favorite channel. Subscribed, and I gotta put auto repeat on. Sorry.
14 days from now, the inauguration, by use of the 25th Amendment. Guys,
okay, so Chuck Schumer's trying to do this 25th Amendment thing. He's trying to do a little bit of showboating, this guy, Chuck Schumer.
You have that clip? If you do, let's go ahead and roll that. And I'd like to get your comments on Senator Schumer.
Now, what happened at the U.S. Capitol...
Oh, my God. What is with this sound? Let's fill both... You're going to record it in stereo and just have one side on?
Yesterday.
All right, whatever. Chuck Schumer, everybody's favorite member of the government. Everybody's favorite senator, Chuck Schumer. The guy who... What does he do all day? What does this guy do all day? They call him the captain of the vending machine. Well, he's actually super upset about all this rioting and stuff because the vending machine got broken. A lot of those Nutter Butters got stolen out. Starburst got stolen. You know, that's what he does. That's his day. Goes to the vending machine, gives Bernie Sanders a dirty look, and then wraps it up. Goes home. Okay, so he's saying we got to get Trump out of there. We're going to do the 25th Amendment. Here we go. He's doing a little bit of a grandstanding, but here we go.
Cabinet votes, he's gone. They should do it now.
And I'm hearing the same thing now. Republicans in the House are coming out with the same sort of sentiment. I've never seen anything like this, Governor, and I know you need to go, but I want to get your comments on what's happening. What is happening in the swamp? It is deeper than we thought, isn't it?
It's the pit of hell. And politely preaching to the choir amongst our fellow believers, about what has to happen. No, we need to demand publicly, loudly, that ranking officials, ranking Republicans, like our Vice President Pence, like the chair of the Republican Party, like senators and representatives whom we put a lot of trust in as we send them to D.C. We need to demand of them, you guys get out there and you guys counter what Schumer just said. This is dangerous territory where Schumer and these others are going, because you know that 98% of the media is going to go along with them and perpetuate this myth.
Okay, we lost contact.
Uh-oh, they lost her. Sarah Palin can't get a good internet connection. So, in other words, we got to listen to America's crazy aunt who won't go away. She's, she smells like white wine and she wants to give you a hug. But she's right, this is a criminal to try to hold Trump in any kind of trouble. She's right. Like if they're mean to Trump like this, then we got to stand up. I mean, clearly in this whole situation, Trump is the one who's the victim. So here we go. We lost Sarah. I gotta stop with these fucking stupid sounds. Okay, so we lost Sarah, but so we got this other guy, Attorney John Graves. Attorney John Graves on here to tell us something. What do we got?
Sure, that tells you a lot about they're not really doing it, and no one's talking about over 1 million people didn't do anything violent, didn't storm anything.
Here's
they were
the deal,
out there listening.
John, we saw about 1 million people or hundreds of thousands of people sitting outside all day in the cold, and nothing happened.
Wait a second. So you're saying that it was mostly peaceful? Are you making the argument that this thing was mostly peaceful, but there was an element that was violent? Interesting. I wonder. I think you guys know where this is going with some other protests. I wonder what they said about other protests. Okay, so this is same channel, the Victory Channel, during the summer, August 13th, 2020, year of our Lord. This is what they have to say about the BLM protests. Let's hear it. They're going to be consistent, right? Remember? Because they were saying, look, the vast majority of those beautiful Trump supporters were peaceful. And those people who stormed the Capitol and smeared doo-doo on the floor of the beautiful, glorious Capitol, never heard of them, haven't seen them. And Trump, the Christian Trump, would never inspire anything like that. So they're going to be consistent, right? They're going to say these protests, these BLM protests in the summers that were, a bunch of studies were done, 95% peaceful, blah, 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 blah. They're going to say the same stuff, right? Here we go.
Gene, what struck me about this story, and we all watched this a couple of days ago in a meeting and watched it again today. What struck me is people across America watch something like this and they say, this can't be happening in America. And I think we're kind of in a place of denial. We think, well, this can't be happening, but we have to acknowledge that it is happening.
Right.
And there's two ways we can change this. One, by prayer, and never underestimate the power of that. The second thing is in the ballot box. We have got to go to the ballot box and make changes.
And vote for Trump.
There's no doubt about that, because decisions are made. What you're seeing in the schools, the promoting of homosexuality, the anti-God rhetoric, now they're going after 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds just because of school boards. It matters who's in office. You need to get Christians to get up. You need to run for office. You need to support those who stand with you. You got to do it. If you don't do it, then I hate to say we deserve what we get, but you have a choice to make a difference here. And if you do nothing, you can't just whine and complain about it. I mean, it's so stark in front of us. If we don't act now, I don't know what will make us act. We need not wait until you lose all your rights, and then you have physical persecution come behind that. Now's the time to act.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I mean, obviously we're making fun of troubled people here, all right? Okay. But, we're just having a good time. Calm down. Interesting instinct, though. You have to say, like, police kill a guy. People are obviously outraged. Like Cornel West said, if people didn't protest after that video went viral, something would be off. That's a rational response to that kind of thing. And these people are like, it's disgusting. But if you, the right cause of like righteous protesting and anger and violence and all that stuff, the righteous cause of that is eternal Trump presidency. Installing Trump in there. He's done such a good job with everything that we got to keep him in there, of course. By the way, if you could see this, if you're just listening to this, I'll describe it. It's like these guys, all these right-wingers like Charlie Kirk and all these YouTube kooks, they all want to look like they're ESPN. Like every one of these channels that's like overproduced because they're just barrels of money are thrown at them. They all want to look like they're ESPN. And I love these like right-wing get off my lawn dads trying to look like they're their sports center. They're like, we like sports, so we want to make our crap look like it's sports.
For you. And on my street where I live, right here in Fort Worth.
This is, by the way, if you're listening to this is a black guy who he's a
Oh, what?
Who he's about to ask this question to.
It's
and this is during the BLM protest.
Probably mixed 50-50, African American and Caucasian on our street. And I see those kids playing basketball together. We go to the grocery store together, even here at church. And I don't see any problems. We seem to somehow be able to get along with my next door neighbor. But when I watch television, you would think the entire nation is against each other. What's the solution to this perceived? Well, maybe it's not perceived. Maybe it is real.
Oh no! I mean, so they got a guy who's black on here who holds the same views as them in general. But to his credit, he does say, no, there's racism, dude. Hold on, buddy. He's like, imagine that. Imagine being that sheltered in the world to be like, there's a black kid in my neighborhood. His name is Terry. And he plays with my son who's a white boy. And I don't get why there's any riots right now. And I connected what I just said about my son and the black kid. I've connected that to entire United States history and what's going on right now and how policing is structured and how society is structured in class and the entire history of the African American community because I saw a black kid play with my white kid. Now you explain. And to his credit, he does. The
systemic racism and all in America. What's the answer? Because I don't see it on my street. I don't see it at the store. I don't see it at church, but I see it on television.
That is almost adorable. That is so close to adorable that it's I don't know.
You know the thing.
Vision.
Unfortunately, Caucasians, because it doesn't happen to them, don't realize that there is some racism out here. There certainly is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, that's good that you have a black kid on your block. That's cool. No, racism exists. You might want to look at very recent United States history and you might want to check that out, my friend. You could imagine somebody asking that question in, I don't know, maybe just not somebody who's on a show or recording themselves at all. Maybe even in like the 80s or the 90s, like asking, what's going on? I don't understand. I have no idea what's going on. But this was recorded in August 13th, 2020. And he's like, I saw a black kid and a white kid play together. Racism doesn't exist.
What we're looking at now is anarchists, those who hate America, hate the gospel, hate what America stands for. And they're taking advantage of this pandemic and this situation with George Floyd to do what they want to do. And unfortunately, it's all getting jumbled up together. I go back, of course, to the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King and all that, which was highly successful. It was done in a nonviolent way. This has nothing to do with civil rights.
Yeah.
Amen.
You know, Gene, you look at Juan Jose, this happened back in June. The story we just showed you happened back in June. They are still getting death threats. Even now, 2 months later, they're still getting, and they've moved and moved. We're not even sure where they are right now because they've had to move so many times.
So of all the things they could have talked about on this, they chose to talk to some business owners who put up an All Lives Matter sign on their restaurant, and their windows got broken or something. Look, I'm giving these guys a hard time, I'm giving these guys a little bit of a hard time, but they're clueless dads. I mean, we could give them that, Shout out to my new favorite channel, the Victory Channel. 500,000 subscribers. Your 60-year-old dad, if you live in the United States and you're white, oh, I guarantee you he's all over this channel. Look at those guys. Is this Sports Center? What are they saying? BLM is all trans Marxist? Situationism? I agree. They got laptops. They're probably looking that up right now on the Smithsonian website. Okay, but you get it. Long story short, Sandra Palin comes on. You know, some might say still looking good. I wouldn't. I don't talk like that on this channel. But she comes on. She's like, these people are, you know, most of it was peaceful. Most of it was peaceful. Come on. Most of it was peaceful. There was some righteous anger because they're stealing. Again, we have to say this over and over again. They're stealing our special guy from us. But it was all peaceful. Then you cut back to a couple months later. This is a violent movement. This is a violent movement from the Lord striketh down upon these Marxists, upon these Marxist Dadaists. Striketh thou. This is in Matthew 4:3. Matthew 3:11. He says, the Lord shall strike down upon thee with furious anger those who teareth down the Robert E. Lee statue. But thy God shall give all praises due to Allah, and all passes, and no legal consequences to those who try to stop an election that they don't like the results of. This has been a reading from Matthew 7:11. This has been a reading from Matthew 9/11/2001. So they interviewed these guys who, you know, got their windows broken or whatever because they were putting up All Lives Matter signs, and this is what it is. These people just want to destroy businesses.
When you look at Juan Jose, this happened back in June. The story we just showed you happened back in June. They are still getting death threats. Even now, 2 months later, they're still getting, and they've been they've moved and moved. We're not even sure where they are right now because they've had to move so many times to escape the death threats and the things. I mean, when they were up there, the people were going in their houses, taking pictures, posting it online and saying, look, nobody's home. I mean, that's the kind of thing that we're up against. And that's why it's so important that we get out and do something.
Yeah, and
ooh, that's why it's important. We got to get up and do something. This is a violent movement. Oh, there was a study just released. It's 95% peaceful. This is a worldwide civil rights protest. Well, we got a guy on the show who his window got broken and he says he got death threats. This is a violent movement of black people, of bad people who they are scary and they'll get you, they'll bite you, and then you turn into one of them if they bite you. Remember, I think it's if they bite you, you turn into one of them, or if you get water on you. If you get them wet, you'll turn into, oh, that's gremlins. I messed up again. So this is where things get really beautiful and interesting. By the way, so remember, Sandra Palin is like, look, we don't know those people. Those people who are smearing doo-doo all over the Capitol. You know, there's no reason. There's no reason why that would be any way linked to us or the things we say. Full no responsibility. I relinquish all responsibility at this point for that. The name of this show, on this channel is called Flashpoint. Here's a definition of Flashpoint. A place, event, or time at which trouble, such as violence or anger, flares up. Oh man, this people have been doing on their channel. And this was uploaded January 5th, 2021, year of our Lord. Again, I'm not surprised, but shocked that this exists around the time that, they start counting the electoral votes. And let's see, this guy, This cool guy has this, by the way, Flashpoint. Look at their logo. Okay, I'll describe their logo to you. Flashpoint with the Bible in the crosshairs of like a scope sight. Oh boy. Oh boy. Executive producer Kyle Rittenhouse on Flashpoint. Okay, so he has this lady on the show. We are in big trouble.
Chris Ann, welcome to the program tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here.
We're so glad.
What an exciting time we're in.
So Chris Ann made a movie. Chris Ann, let's see that movie.
It's an exciting time. All right, so first off, you're working on a movie. In fact, don't talk. Let's roll that clip, that preview of this upcoming film, Non-Compliant. Watch.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain alienable rights.
We have a power.
It is the right of the people to alter or abolish it.
We've raised a spoiled brat representative government.
By the way, goddamn you, Christopher Nolan, for starting this with this style of editing. He's accountable too. I would say he's the main guy who should be held accountable for everything that's been going on. That kind of drop, that bass drop edit. This is all on you, my man.
That needs to be taken to the woodshed.
Wait a second.
Are you satisfied with
What? Let's just go back to the beginning. And check.
Chris Ann, welcome to the program tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here.
Well, we're so glad.
What an exciting time we're in.
It is an exciting time. All right, so first off, you're working on a movie.
Exciting time.
Don't talk.
For a holy
Let's
war.
roll that clip, that preview of this upcoming film, Non-Compliant. Watch.
Non-compliant.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain alienable.
Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, okay, so she's talking about the Constitution here.
We have a power.
It is the right of the people to alter or abolish
And
it.
we've raised a spoiled brat representative government that needs to be taken to.
Okay, so anybody who's remotely anti-Trump is a spoiled brat government, and what do we need to do?
The woodshed.
I fucked up again.
That needs to be taken to the woodshed.
They need to be taken to the woodshed. To the woodshed?
Lock the gates!
Uh-oh. These people... Nancy Pelosi... AOC, Mitt Romney, all these people, anybody who's against Trump need to be taken to the woodshed because they're trying to steal your whole life and your kids. They're trying to take your kids away from you in a truck. But we would never storm the Capitol. That's a little bit too far. Peaceful protest is all we want. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Are you satisfied with a government that owns you?
When I say take to the woodshed, I mean just hang out out front of the Capitol and do a nice protest, then go get a bagel. You know, come on. I'm bullshitting, come on.
There are churches.
God damn you, Chris Nolan. Chris Nolan is tearing this country apart, editing-wise.
Who refuse to allow us to use their facilities to teach.
Unspoken or even sometimes spoken rule that religion and politics don't mix. You wouldn't dare speak out against the government or somehow resist.
Christians have to be involved in politics. God commands it.
Every turn of event through history hinged.
One person will stand up
upon a single person.
And then everybody else will stand.
A gym member, surrounded by a crowd of supporters, was placed in handcuffs.
A Tampa Bay pastor has been arrested,
sentenced to a week in
jail.
She also tore up a cease and
These are the truly oppressed people, white pastors, and just white people in white churches in the middle of the country.
desist letter.
But BLM is a violent movement.
We have a posterity waiting for us to say, we will not comply, so you will be free.
Oh boy.
All right, non-compliant. Chris Ann, winner.
I mean, this show is like, it looks like Fox News, it looks like ESPN, but it is wow. Whoa. Uh-oh. You know how Tim Pool is always going on about Civil War and all this stuff? He's not the only one. Ooh, uh-oh. Yikes. What's going on out there, guys? What's going on out there? What's going on out there, guys? I mean, my whole thing, you know, I think of this in materialist terms and all that stuff of like, well, if more people had access to no cost, taxpayer funded education, higher education, you know, less anxiety ridden lives, you know, things, giving more of a safety net in the country so that people don't go crazy like this. I'm thinking it might be too late for that, guys. Here we go. Not sure why these people would get all riled and worked up and foamed up into a sweet foam, a sweet cappuccino foam. I don't know why. What would cause that? I mean, no, they weren't. Those people weren't MAGA or any of that stuff. Those were all Marxists. Because all this rhetoric they're saying on these channels is totally cool.
Primary to understand how radically departed from freedom we already are. And every Christian needs to be sobered. And I've said this often. People want Ovaltine. They want warm milk. They want a pat on the back. That is not what the colonists were told. Right. That is not what true Americans were told. That's not what Abraham Lincoln said. When the hour arrived that a nation had been stolen, it had to be clear. Jesus said, Lazarus is dead. What we need tomorrow is a resurrection of the American spirit in millions and millions of people, to say we have been lied to on a level that few generations have ever been lied to, and the appropriate action is to absorb it. Right. Not to stand stunned disbelief, but to be prepared for the long struggle. Sometimes
this is so strange, so strange. John Brown would be really proud of these people, right? Because he used a sort of righteous. Let's just say he used action. Yeah, let's go with that, action. He used action in a righteous way for a good cause, right? Anti-slavery. That's what he was doing. These people are like, we need to rise up and stand up, and we're not going to take this anymore. We need to fight stuff. And what we're fighting for is to keep a man who lives in a golden, ornate Liberace hotel in presidency forever. This is our righteous struggle. Lazarus came down. I could do that voice all day. I know that it's dumb, but I'm going to just keep doing it forever. Lazarus came down and he said, you got to keep that man who was born a millionaire. You need to keep him in power forever so that he could tweet. This is our John Brown moment. So guys, just wanted to sort of let you know, the Victory channel exists, and that's interesting. That's cool. Flashpoint, a place, event, or time at which trouble such as violence or anger flares up. Welcome to Flashpoint, a totally peaceful show of nonviolent, just going to see the president, then going home. Going to going to, afterwards, we go to Panera Bread or Au Bon Pan, and then we go home. These channels all kind of have the same vibe of just sort of like, it's like talking to somebody who's got like the 1,000-yard stare. And by the way, people have been sharing this, which is, this video is still up on YouTube. The social media purge has not touched this one. Calling all patriots to disobey, with him with an unscratched AR-15 and his detective-style gun holster around his shoulders. And this dude has tons and tons of videos of like, this whole thing stolen, they're blah, 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 we gotta, really foaming up the rubes. I mean, he might be one of the lead foamers. And interestingly, this guy has not uploaded a video in like 6 days. Like, pretty much since the thing went down at the Capitol, he has not uploaded a video. He put one Twitter tweet. What? He put one Twitter tweet that was like, praying for everyone. This is a sad event. I can't believe. He's really, this dude, just honestly, just scroll through his thumbnails. This guy's not going to be around for long, I would guess. I would guess the reason that this guy hasn't been posting is because he is figuring out the legal situation. He is figuring out what he's going to do. And I would say, don't be surprised if you walk into a Chipotle in a year or two and Steven Crowder is working there, because he's not going to be able to do things online anymore, I don't think. And I honestly, straight up, I don't like that. The deplatforming stuff creeps me out a little bit, especially because certain people who I'm not going to name, some Russians, might have gotten deplatformed too, who, if you listen to that podcast, they're being deplatformed for being moderately annoying. I'm just kidding, guys. Come on, I'm just kidding. Give them a break. Okay? Oh! But yeah, if you can get deplatformed, if you can get thrown off all forms of social media or Twitter or whatever for being annoying, then I'm in big trouble too, probably. And probably lots. Here in the US, we all are. If you're an American and you're definitely at risk of being thrown off if one of the rules is not being annoying, because that's who we are as a people. Here's a quote from this guy about the election results. Steven Chowder. And again, this guy's got hours and hours of content about how the election is stolen. What would you have, and imagine him saying this, I don't want to play the clip because this guy's probably, they're going to purge every channel that this guy's even looked at. What would you have us do right now? So picture this, like a really fired up guy, a bad actor pretending to be really upset. What would you have us do right now? Talking about the election. The pinko commies have been steamrolling the streets. This is a literal quote. This is not satire again. Just like the Victory channel, this is surprisingly not satirical. The pinko commies have been steamrolling the street. Pinko commies, dude, are you 80 years old? What do you want to, here it is. What do you want to just roll over and die? So, the Victory channel, Steven Crowder, these people represent a very distinct brand of American insanity that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And again, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and all these people who are like, really don't give a crap about this stuff. You're going to see over the next year, they're going to say things like, we have to just do nothing because remember those protests? We're the only thing standing in between you and them, guys. So we just can't do anything. It's going to be just more barfing money into the mouth of whoever gave us money. Not going to really do anything that would actually fix this. But so keep those fools in mind. This type of craziness is widespread, and there's a big market for it. I mean, I am forever hopeful and eternally an optimist, and I say, you know what, if society was more cohesive, if we did have simple things, like I've said a million times, like, easy access for everybody to higher education and blah, 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 and all that. I think a lot of this stuff would be at least a little bit less intense. We would have like a New Deal style Reservoir Dogs Mexican standoff kind of thing going, where nobody's shooting. There's still, people are crazy, but nobody's shooting. You know what I mean? Okay, so of course we got to check in with our absolute favorite internet kook. Goes by the name of Timmy the Tool Man, Pool Man Taylor. I call him Timmy Hot Tub. Yeah, I don't know, just something I'm working on. Hey! Oh! This is the best comedy channel on the internet. Pool. Timmy Hot Tub. Check this out. So he's talking about, what's the title of this? Democrats announce articles of impeachment against Trump, call for arrest and conviction of Trump. And by the way, there's a part in this where he's like, you could tell he's like shaking. He's like, they are calling to have Trump and Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump Jr. arrested. And he says this with a straight face. I mean, how you could hear that phrase not as hilarious. They should do that just for entertainment's sake. To see those three get arrested would be the most Coen brothers funny thing ever. I mean, they should literally just do it for the clicks and the lols, as I call it. Could you imagine that? Rudy Giuliani with his dentures falling out while they're like cuffing him, and then he actually accidentally kicks his dentures. And then again, my favorite comedy thing, a dog grabs the dentures and he's walking around smiling. Classic. And then Donald Trump Jr. is getting arrested. He's like, my weird beard, my weird painted on beard. Oh my God, it would be so funny. They would all somehow trip and fall down a set of steps. You know, it would be beautiful. They got to do that. I mean, how this guy could come on his channel and say this stuff so sincerely. Oh, I can't believe what's happening. I mean, we're just watching Keystone Cops crap. This is like, at this point, there's nothing to do but just be like, look at this. Look at this wacky cartoon we live in. I also love that he keeps bringing up Ted Cruz. He really, watch this video. He brings up Ted Cruz a bunch of times. Like he's like unifying. Ted Cruz wants to unify this situation.
It's not pessimism. It's realism. You cannot have, for instance, Ted Cruz call for unity. He did. Ted Cruz says we need to.
He did. So here we go. This is from obviously my new favorite channel. We all know it's my new favorite channel now, the Victory Channel, and they uploaded this from the Senate floor.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of vote of the state of Arizona that the teller has verified appears to be regular in form and authentic?
President, I, Paul Gosar from Arizona.
For what purpose does the...
So this guy, Mike Prince, or whatever his name is, he's like, hey, is anybody objecting to the counting of the electoral ballots? What would they be called? The electoral votes. Is anybody objecting? So because they want to overturn the election and install an eternal president? Trunk?
Gentleman from Arizona, right?
I rise up for myself and 60 of my colleagues to object to the counting of the electoral ballots from Arizona.
Is the objection in writing and signed by a senator?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Teddy Cruz stands up. So he's standing up to say, I signed on to object to the counting of the ballots to keep Trump in there forever. We got to keep Trump in there forever. This is Ted Cruz trying to keep Trump in there forever. I love how they all clap. They go, oh, he's so brave. Ted Cruz so brave. He's standing up for Trump. This was during the primary, if you remember this.
The GOP race for president getting personal. Donald Trump and Senator Ted Cruz now in the middle of a wife war. It's
a wife war. Ted Cruz and Trump in a wife war. So I don't know if you remember this, but Trunk was like making fun of this guy's wife and saying that he was going to spill the beans and he had some secret info on his wife. And now Ted Cruz is like, I stand up to keep that guy in there forever. Let's just be real about this. After graduate, this is from Ted Cruz's Wikipedia. Just so you know, after graduating from Princeton, Cruz attended Harvard Law School, graduating magna cum laude. Laude? How do you say it? Magnum? This is how far I am from graduating with any of this crap that I don't even know how to say it. In 1995 with a Juris Doctor degree. So he graduated magna cum laude. Laude? In 1995. This guy has jumped through every hoop to be part of the ruling class in the United States. And what's his reward? To get absolutely humiliated every day, all day, and ad nauseum on TV on repeat. And then you almost feel sorry for him because he's just trapped in one of the circles of hell, this poor guy. But then you hear him and you look at him and you hear his views on the world and you're like, I'm okay. I'm not going to feel sorry for that guy. Okay, so when I was watching this, I just put a note on this timestamp. It just says, stupidest person on the internet. Oh! So let's see if that's true.
In 13 days. The fact is that getting rid of Trump is the easy part. Cleansing the movement he commands, or getting rid of what he represents to so many Americans, is going to be something else. Dangerous rhetoric. How do we convince people to slow down? How do you tell this person, please don't use this language? How do you say it's time that Trump supporters sat down and had a conversation with progressives and Democrats? It's time now that we lay down our figurative swords and discuss how we avoid this.
That is pretty dumb. Why can't we just have a rational discussion? We want to overturn the election and have Trump for president because in our minds, that's going to solve all the problems. When I come on my channel for years and months after the election, and, I say things like it's stolen, I say that Biden's going to, I can't remember the exact quote, but Biden's going to come for your family. He's going to come for your kids. A memo went out on these guys because I was watching another one of these people's videos and they said basically the exact same thing, that they're going to come for your family, your schools, your kids, and all this stuff. I can say, I've been saying that. I know that I've been saying that for years, but it's time to start being responsible, you guys.
Figurative swords and discuss how we avoid this. I can say it a million times, I guess. Obviously, Ted Cruz wants to.
I love his little ho-hum thing that he's like, I've been saying a million times, I guess. Saying a million times, I guess. Nobody's going to even listen to me. I don't even know why can't we go to McDonald's? Nobody listens to me. I'm Tim Pool. Again, I really actually do love this guy because he is just in completely over his head. He did a lot. You have to hand it to him that he did a lot of work to get a channel this big. But there are these moments where he reveals that he's just like totally in the deep end without a float, let's just say.
It will only get worse. Let's read the news, and I'll show you the resolution to impeach Donald Trump. The statements made by many others, calls for Trump to be removed under the 25th Amendment, and where we go from here. Some of the most nightmarish things I've ever heard. An ABC article calling for the cleansing of Trump's supporters. We've heard this language before.
I would love for him to finish that sentence. He goes into reading, I think.
Let's read.
There you go. So I would love to hear him finish that sentence about cleansing, because I feel like he's implying like racial cleansing or like, Nazi Germany stuff. But how would you connect those dots, buddy? How would you connect those dots? There's only one way to connect those dots, which is being banned from social media is like Nazi stuff. It's the exact same. If I can't tweet If I can't tweet that AOC sucks with a picture of her making like a dumb face where one of her eyes is closed, then I am basically a survivor. I would really love for him to be able to finish that. I mean, look, here's the thing, okay? This is the truth. If you have a kid, maybe, you have a young kid who's on TikTok or something, or you're on TikTok. If I wasn't an old buffoon who looks stupid when he moves at all, I would do TikTok dancing. But a lot of, young people, I think there's a worry with parents where it's like, oh man, these kids are doing all this cringe stuff on TikTok. What about when they're 24 and they work at some firm of some kind? They work at an ad agency and those old TikToks come up of them doing the Cardi B dance, of them doing the Megan Thee Stallion dance. Oh, that's just going to ruin their career. Dude, look, we're all uploading cringe. It's what we do all day. And it's totally, we're going to just develop, we're going to evolve complete immunity to it. Like, cringe is going to just fall away. We're just going to be cringe immune. We're going to be cringe inoculated because we've all done it. You, starting, 10 years ago, probably 5 years ago, we all have a cringe file that can be brought up at any time. So you know what? You gotta let it go. Okay? You're going to be embarrassed because you said something stupid. That's what it is, And when I watch these Tim Pool videos, I'm like, I don't know, who knows? Maybe he'll accidentally find a book in one of those like free libraries in his neighborhood, and it'll be like Noam Chomsky or something. He'll be like, I am stupid. I am a stupid guy. I did not know any of this. Or he'll just start to feel bad about the grifting or whatever, and he'll be like, oh my God, there's literally decades, terabytes of video of me saying the worst stuff you could possibly think of. That's what I think of. I'm like, I'm probably going to look at the stuff that I'm uploading right now and want to jump off a bridge. But that's the world we live in, guys. Now we're all uploading cringe. So just as a little side note here, you've probably uploaded cringe. You cringe master who's watching this. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. So don't worry. We've all got our cringe vaccines and our herd immunity to cringe. Watch how he just telegraphs his inner psychology here on this one. So of course we got to go to his Patreon. And again, nothing but love for Tim. You denounce all this weird crap, all this MAGA crap, you're in the club, dude. All right? I swear to God, I will never make a funny video about you again if you just stop misleading the elderly. But here we go.
You can do, share this video. If you want to support my work. I can't predict what this year will bring, but I can certainly say I see no reason why it would be better than the last. I don't.
So just think about that. He goes from Patreon, he starts getting like, well, if you want to support my work, he gets very like reflective. Well, if you want to support my work, you could go there. I'm just doing my best. But I don't see how things are going to get any better. In other words, he's telling you, I'm probably going to get in trouble. I might get deplatformed. The thing that makes him truly sad is I might not be able to rake in moolah. I might not be able to rake in paper off of these dimwits anymore. That is truly hurtful. And if you want to support my work, go to Patreon. But I tried my best to fleece as many rubes as possible. And I'm just a man who loves a girl, and that girl is spreading misinfo online.
I do a good job in discussing these issues. Please share this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because we'll see how long this can last.
Oh my God damn you, making me feel sorry for you, Temple. God damn it. This guy's a millionaire for this crap, and now I'm like, oh my God, listen to his voice. He sounds so sad.
This is the language, and the president should be impeached and removed from office for his open sedition. This is the language they're using. And she's not just saying Trump, she's saying the Republican Party to the U.S. Yeah. Language. We get it. They go on to mention, on January 2nd, Trump violated his constitutional duty to take care of the laws of the U.S. by faithfully executing when, on a recorded call, he repeatedly asked Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to overturn the finalized and verified results. We know about the leaked phone call.
We know about that. We don't want to hear about that anymore. We get it. This is pretty interesting right here.
From the Hill. Meghan McCain calls on Republicans to invoke the 25th Amendment.
Oh my God, the great Meghan McCain even? That great political mind? Oh my God, now it's serious.
Rep. Adam Kinzinger becomes first Republican to call for Trump's removal from office by 25th Amendment.
Oh my God.
President-elect Joe Biden. Don't dare call them protesters. They were a riotous mob, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists. It's that basic. It's that simple. Nobody will say we are a country of we are a nation of many people with disagreements, and many disagreements that have escalated to the extreme degree that we find ourselves at today.
A lot of people might say that YouTube lunatics are foaming up rubes into a panic, leading them to hurt themselves and draw the exact wrong conclusions of how to deal with their suffering. And I just want to say, guys, here on my channel, that those people should not be banned from YouTube because they like money. They like making that money. Just gotta let them keep doing it.
Find ourselves at today. We need to ask people to be calm, and we need to come together, admit our faults, and shake hands and agree on a way that we can move forward peacefully so that we can ensure the prosperity and the civility of this nation.
As long as it means eternal Trump presidency. Okay? Shake hands. Guys, let's all shake hands and admit that the only solution to this problem is that this guy who's, we can show you all the stats. I mean, perfect. He's done a perfect job. And that's the only way to go forward. Eternal, great leader needs to be there forever. What other solution is there? So we can shake hands, okay? And then make that happen. And then we can all move on. And watch the new Marvel.
Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz said it. Here's the problem.
The beautiful Ted Cruz.
The left won't. And I'm not trying to play into this tribalist game. That worries me. Coming out and saying, oh, the left won't accept this. They won't call for unity and things like that. Joe Biden tweeted that he wanted unity. And no one on the right wanted it. They said, how dare you, after 4 years of insulting and impeaching and scandals against the president, think we'll have unity with you when you wouldn't have unity with us. But the left responded to Joe Biden in kind, saying, you think we'll unify with these people? And here we are.
Why can't, I think he's exact. This is such a good analysis. Why can't you just unite with, something like the Victory Channel and Stephen Chowder and Tim Pool and all these people who, have been foaming this thing up why can't we just unite? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I don't get what's going on. I mean, why can't you just treat our ideas as completely valid? Some people want to do a job creation program with green energy, which is disgusting. Some people want to give people $2,000 so that they can not get evicted. Those are some ideas, right? And then other ideas are like, this election was stolen by George Soros, and we need to Black Lives Matter is all Marxist and all these are just, we need to be able to, we need to be able to just find a common ground with these things because it's there. It's there. Okay, so remember earlier I said, oh, this is the stupidest moment on the internet? I was wrong. It's about to come up. But also, I want to say, they're definitely, if you watch over the next, I might have already said this, but if you watch over the next couple of years, they're going to use this, I would think, politically as a way. Many Democrats are going to use this as a political tool to do stupid things and bad things, much like 9/11 was used to do an array of bad things. And we're doing protection. We need to protect you guys. with all kinds of horrible crap. That's not going to protect you. It's going to make things worse. So you're probably going to see that. So I don't want to say like, oh, it's just blanket good thing to be using this as a bludgeon for everything. But in general, AOC is right on this. But watch Tim's reaction. It's beautiful.
But they're instructing these people, leave DC and not come back. Ted Cruz has called for peace. In response, Ocasio-Cortez says, Senator Cruz, you must accept responsibility for how your craven, self-serving actions contributed to the deaths of 4 people yesterday, and how you fundraised off this riot. Both you and Senator Hawley must resign. If you do not, the Senate should move for your expulsion.
He's so move for your expulsion. I am so worked up.
Did Eric Swalwell resign when it was uncovered that he was engaging in relations with a spy out of China?
Even if that was true, which it's not, imagine bringing... Well, one guy had an affair with a Chinese lady who might have been a spy, but we don't even know. He made out with her. Making out with spies is really bad too.
That's the report and the allegation. No. Was there a resignation from these members of Congress who defended the riots we saw across this country? No.
No. These people who didn't say Black Lives Matter is an impressionist Marxist organization, then no. They didn't denounce it.
What about when we saw a church in Washington, D.C. set ablaze, a historic landmark across from the White House? No. When Ilhan Omar was accused repeatedly of anti-Semitic statements, did they even see...
This is, if you criticize Israel, then you not only are you an anti-Semite, but you are stoking the passion of people who are gonna do violence just like this. You're not allowed to criticize Israel. That's off the table, guys.
Censure her. No. But now,
he's making some good comparisons here.
All this, with Ted Cruz saying, calm down, please have peace, they insist on escalating everything. And there is
calm down, dude. What are you getting all worked up for? You've made millions of dollars off of this stuff. Calm down.
The muscular class.
Okay? You're part of the muscular class right now, so calm down. Just get in your house.
Lock the gates!
Lock the gates in your mansion and calm down, dude. They insist on escalating all this. Like, it's almost like they've been telling the people that this election was stolen and that they're going to come. Literally, I said this in a video, that Joe Biden's going to come for your family. They insist on escalating everything. What are you in? Al Pacino now? All of a sudden, are you in Glengarry Glen Ross right now? Is that what's going on? Really laying it on thick, Tim. I don't want to escalate anymore. Every time I try not to escalate, they keep pulling me back and escalating. I love it. So there's another video. What is this called? Is he 10 years old? Listen to this headline. This is from today or yesterday. Oh, this is from a couple days ago. Protester at DC riot was at BLM rally in Utah. Leftists were part of it. Confirmed. Oh, dude. How old is this guy? Because that is the most, like, 6th grader thing. Confirmed. It's other people. Confirmed.
No, we got some big news. Actually, this news is from yesterday. Heidi Hatch from KUTV's confirmed a Utah man involved in the protests. Involved in the protests in Utah this spring was in D.C. and stormed the Capitol amid violent protests. There's a man named John Sullivan, and he was arrested as a member of Black Lives Matter during the riots in spring.
Let's keep in mind, like, the whole point of storming the Capitol was to stop the counting of the electoral votes. So would you call that more of a BLM, leftist thing. And you know what? Actually, I've never read all of BLM's policies. I know that there's stuff like universal health care and stuff like that. I have it pulled up right here. Oh, keep President Trump forever. Oh my God. I gotta read that stuff. Before I come on here and shoot my stupid mouth off. About this stuff that I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm sorry. BLM doesn't want Trump to be president forever. I apologize. When I'm wrong, I'll correct it.
And apparently he claims he was there just to document, but he was there as the woman was shot. So it looks like we do have confirmation of leftists part of the protest that stormed the Capitol building.
There you go. Confirmed. Leftists part of it. I mean, but wait, first you said that if Joe Biden wins, he's going to come for your he's going to take your family away. They're going to come for your family and your kids and your job, and everyone's going to get fired because Joe Biden wins. And then you said that there's massive fraud. The whole thing was fraud. And so we did the most obvious thing, which is we went to stop the steal. You told us it was stolen and that the consequences were losing our family. So what? I mean, what? Then why would this be bad? Why would this be bad? This would be doing the right thing. Why are you disavowing it and now blaming it on leftists? This is, there you go. Just to give you a little summary of what's up here. I'm like the Alexis de Tocqueville, just checking in on America, looking around saying, oh, look what's going on here. Wow. Interesting. So, guys, please like and subscribe. And Patreon.com. I don't have a Patreon, but can you just send me cash? Instead of doing Patreon, just mail me cash, please. Thank you. Okay, one more thing here. Oh, man. And this is from John Benjamin, a.k.a. Bob's Burgers. If you could get his album, Jazz Daredevil, it's so good. It's so funny. Jazz Daredevil. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Somebody posted this Twitter thing where a guy's at an airport. I'll just read this to you. The video's in an airport. People who broke into the Capitol Wednesday are now learning they are on no-fly lists pending the full investigation. They are not happy about this. And I'll play you this video. Oh, man. Oh. Remember the Cringe thing we talked about?
I love every single one of you. But this is what they do to us. They kick me off the plane. They call me a fucking terrorist. And they want to fucking ruin my life. Sir, please calm down. I was kicked off of Delta earlier.
Oh, that poor... They want to ruin my life. They called me a terrorist. He's on a no-fly list. I don't know exactly who this guy is. And with Twitter, you never know what to trust. But he's on a no-fly list for sure. Let's hear what John Benjamin has to say. Okay, John Benjamin. Follow him on Twitter. Dear Delta, I was booked to fly. This is him writing as the that guy screaming. Or whoever on the no-fly list because they broke into the Capitol. Dear Delta, I was booked to fly home from D.C. on one of your flights. I am a Silver Medallion member. I had just come from an exhausting day of trying to save America by taking Nancy Pelosi hostage and just wanted to go home and make some frozen egg rolls to show my mom pics. Oh, God. Oh, man. You know what? Like, I do, like, when I see that video and I hear this guy crying in the airport, I feel sorry for these people. The instinct should be to feel sorry for these people because they're getting a bad deal. This is not their fault. This is not their fault. You know, they don't deserve this. These people don't deserve this. They don't deserve... I mean, yeah, they deserve to be on the no-fly list and all. They deserve the punishment, but they don't deserve to be in the situation where they are tricked into this stuff and where they're just like in this predatory media system and just predatory system in general that's like just trying to take advantage of them at every turn. Yeah, sorry, but the instinct should be to have empathy and feel sorry for these people. So guys, I realized I didn't really record an ending to this episode. I just kind of trailed off and then wandered away. So I just want to end this by saying, check out my boy George the Package Monkey on YouTube. He is racking up an excess credit card bill for his parents, ordering all this Amazon crap. A lot of this stuff is not even useful. I mean, it's just like toys and stuff and treats. But yeah, I will say it's entertaining. But his parents are going to see that Amazon bill eventually, and he's going to be caged for a while, caged and tased for a while. But you know, in the meantime, it's fun while it lasts. So shout out to friend of the show, George the Package Monkey. We love you, and keep racking up that Amazon bill.